This is day 5 of testimony in the long-awaited Casey Anthony trial. She is charged with killing her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee. But in opening statements, her attorney surprised nearly everyone with the claim that Kaylee drowned accidentally in her grandparents' pool. Let's bring in our legal guys. Avery Freeman, a civil rights attorney and law professor in Cleveland. Hello. And Richard Herman,
Hello.
a New York criminal defense attorney and law professor, joining us from Las Vegas. Good to see you, Richard.
Hey, Fred, I'm glad to see you made it out of that NASCAR. That was great.
Oh, it was great. We'll have to talk about that some more later. So let's talk about this case. This really did surprise an awful lot of people who've been watching this case very closely, that Casey Anthony, her defense team would now say that this child may have drowned in the swimming pool and that the grandfather, Casey's father, was there, and that this whole case of murder or alleged murder is taking a completely different turn to now accidental death, Richard.
Yeah, well, just imagine the drama in the courtroom, Fred. The district attorney stands up there and outlines this intentional killing and chloroforming of this daughter and wanting to live the good life to get rid of this anchor, so she killed her daughter. Then the defense gets up and says, actually, the daughter drowned in a swimming pool, and the father was holding the daughter. The mother came and they cried, and then it was an accidental drowning. However, the father decided, rather than call the police, rather than call paramedics, rather than try to revive.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
right.
They're going to take care of the baby and bury the baby themselves, which, in the end, Fred, that little twist at the end there, I think that's just not going to be believed by any rational jury, and I think she's going to, they got a huge problem with
and
the defense.
Avery, the remains of this child, Kaylee, were found like 8 months after she was reported missing, so it has been made clear there was evidence that showed duct tape that was possibly around her mouth, that there may have been some trauma to the head. But would it have been too late, 8 months after the fact of a decomposing body, to even determine whether drowning or suffocating, any of those things could have been causes for her death?
Well, that's a wonderful question. I mean, one of the important points here, especially with the defense, is that those are sort of questions that can be raised. But I think the complication here, Frederica, is that in the defense, if you just dealt with the science of what he alleges she went through in child abuse and zeroed in on that, then at least it's plausible. The problem with the defense, at least as I see it, is that he's created multiple conflicting defenses, meaning he now has to prove that the cause of this mental problem that the defendant had was because of the behavior of the father, the brother, everybody else.
And how will they go about that?
And it's inconsistent.
How will they do that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he's going to do it. He's trying. Actually, George has been on the stand, and he said, well, you abused your daughter. He says, well, no, I didn't, and that was the end of it. I mean,
and he's very composed throughout. He's very composed throughout, and that apparently the prosecutors were asking questions to possibly get a rise out of him to show that this kind of agitation that you're seeing now on the stand could certainly be now placed to the scene of this alleged accident. Now, of course, he never did lose control. Apparently, he was very much in control the whole time. So I guess no one really scored any points here, Avery.
Well, the defense
I don't
is trying
think
to get a rise out of
points
him,
were.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
but the point here, they have
Avery first.
I'm sorry, they have to have an explanation for her erratic conduct 30 days after the child goes missing and why her compulsive lying. So what they're saying is because of long-term sexual and physical abuse, Kaylee has this trauma, and they're going to bring in experts, Fred, forensic psychologists. They're going to say her actions are consistent with someone who suffered incest or sexual abuse by family members. That's going to be their explanation.
Okay, we're going to move on. Yeah, go ahead, real quick.
Just very quickly, but that's different than saying that these are the guys that did it, adding another layer here, which is unnecessary.
Okay, so now let's move on to the case involving a Rutgers student. 8 months after being accused of using a webcam to spy on a 19-year-old or an 18-year-old student, Tyler Clemente. 19-year-old student, Darun Ravi, in court, facing charges now. Now, apparently, there are some allegations now involving how he may have tried to cover up evidence, Richard, that this young man may have erased texts, that he may have tried to coerce some other eyewitnesses. Where is this case going, and how difficult will it be for prosecutors to prove, too?
This is a very serious case for this young man, and especially since the co-defendant has made a cooperation deal and is going to testify against him and lay out the case point blank. He's in big trouble. He's facing a maximum of 10 years on one of the counts there. It's bias crimes. It's basically an obstruction of justice. He recreated a web program. I mean, it's really, really bad, and I think they got him dead to rights on this one. He's got to make a deal. They cannot go to trial in this case.
Oh, Avery, you agree?
Bottom line, 15 counts, that yes, the co-defendant, Wei, is going to testify. I just don't know how he's going to get out of this mess. It's a very, very serious matter. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Avery, Richard, we're going to talk to you again. You're back in about 20 minutes. We're going to talk about the case that seems to be building now against former presidential candidate John Edwards.